It's too late. Right? It's too late. And guess what? That's why we're going to tell you, we told you so. We don't want to hear it either. Ezekiel 9th chapter. Because why? Now it's the judgment time. You see all the wickedness that the brother read in Ezekiel the 8th chapter? That's all the wickedness of our people. That's going on to this very day. Right? He read all the wickedness of our people, and one is doing worse than the other. One is worse than the other. One is worse than the other. And guess what's going to happen now? The judgment is about to jump off for all those wickedness. Just like the judgment is about to jump off in this day and time. Read on.
Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 9. Then said
9 and 1.
Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 1. He cried also in my ears with a loud voice, saying, because that thou have charge over the city to draw near, even every man with his destroying weapons in his hands.
Right, the Most High called the angels to draw near. Every one of them with a destroying weapons in their hand. Read on.
And behold, 6 men came from the way of the higher gate, which lie towards the north, and every man a slaughter weapon in his hand.
Right, so all the angels, the 6 of them, had a slaughter weapon in their hand. Come on.
And one man among them was clothed with a linen, with a writing inkhorn by his side.
And another angel came on the scene with a writer's inkhorn by his side. There's a reason why the rest had a slaughtering weapon, but this one had a writer's inkhorn. Read on.
And they went in and stood beside the brazen altar.
Read on.
And the glory of the God of Israel was gone up from the cherub, where open he was, to the bare hold of the house. And he called to the man clothed with linen, which had the writer's inkhorn by his side.
Right, so out of the 7 men who was there, right, the 6 of them had the slaughtering weapon. He called the one with the writer's inkhorn. Right? He called the one with the writer's inkhorn. And what is he going to tell him? Read on.
And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the forehead of the man that signed and that cried for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
Right. So the men were doing what we're doing. He said, set a mark upon the foreheads. He had the writer's inkhorn. Set a mark upon the forehead of the man who sighed and cried for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Right? So you have to be sighing and crying to get that mark for all the wickedness that's going on in this world. Right? You can't be a part of it. You can't be a part of this world of the wickedness. You have to be against it. You got to roll against the grain. All right?
That's right.
Go to verse 11.
Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 11. And behold, the man clothed with linen, which had the inkhorn by his side, reported the martyr, saying, I have done as thou hast commanded me.
Right, so the one with the writer's inkhorn said he done what the Most High commanded him. And what was done? He had to go set the mark upon the foreheads of the man who sighed and who cried for all the abominations, for all the wickedness that's going on. You have to be sighing and crying against it. You can't be a part of it. Right? Because when the judgment's coming down the pipeline, and that's the time we're in, you're going to see when martial law is declared in America, when the economy collapsed, right? When the dollar collapsed, right? And they declare martial law, and they got false flag attacks going off, and they lock down the country like they did with 9/11, right? Wait till that start happening, and they start rounding you up and sending us into FEMA camps. Then you're going to realize, all right? Jump to Ezekiel 9, verse 5.
Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 5. And the other, he said, in my hearing.
The others right here, right, is the 6 with the slaughtering weapon. Right? But that's the 6 with the slaughtering weapon. Why? Because the man with the writer's inkhorn, he did his job. He set that mark upon the foreheads of the man who sighed and cried, which is the servant of the Most High. Right? Now, to the others, which is the 6 angels with the slaughtering weapon, read on.
Go he after him through the city, and smite, let not your eyes spare, neither have he pity.
Right, he said, go through the midst of the city, to his people, right? And smite and let your eyes have no pity. If they don't have the mark, kill them. Read on.
Slay utterly all and young.
Old men and young men and women, right? The Most High don't care about age. Be it old or newborn, the Most High don't care about your age. Read on.
Both men and little children.
Right, he don't care about whether it's a baby, child, newborn, he don't care. Read on.
And women.
And women. Understand, the Most High don't care about your gender. You're male or female, he don't care about your age, whether you're old or young. Right, he said, kill them. Read on.
But come not near any man upon who is the mark. And begin at sanctuary, then they began at the ancient men which were before the house.
Right, it says, begin at my sanctuary, his people. Right? So when this thing jump off, why you think they target our people? Why you think we're on the Project Megiddo list? The King Alfred plan. Why? Why the government single us out? Why? You understand? Because the Most High is going to judge his people first. Right? He's going to pick the mote out of his eye before he deal with the heathens. All right? Give me 1 Peter. First Peter, the 4th chapter. Now, as I was saying, right, the Most High is going to begin at his sanctuary. He's going to pick the mote out of his eye first, clean up his people before he touches the heathen. Right, the Most High do things decently and in order. All right, 1 Peter 4 and 17. Come on.
1 Peter chapter 4 verse 17. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of God.
Right, the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High. The Most High is going to check his people first. Right? Just as he tell us, right, he said, pick the mote out your own eye, pick the beam out your own eye before you do it to your brother. Right? Moses is going to do the same thing. He's going to deal with his people first before he deal with the heathen. Read that again from top.
For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of God.
The Moses is going to check his people first. Going to get them all cleaned up. Clean the cockroaches up out of our nation. Clean the rats and the scalawags. Got to clean that dross, that filth from our nation. All right, read on.
And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of God?
Right, now if it happened with us, what's going to be unto them? Imagine what's coming down the pipeline for them. Understand? Read on.
And if the righteous certainly be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear?
Right, it said the righteous are going to scarcely make it. The righteous are going to barely make it out of here. Right? So where are the sinners and the ungodly going to appear? Where are they going to be at? Give me Amos 9 and 10.
Hello.
You believe in the Bible?
Oh.
Yes.
I do. What is it?
While you're preaching. Nationality? Alright. What happened here is, matter of fact, I'll ask you a question. What's your nationality?
Brazil.
Oh, okay. Actually, we all have a biblical nationality. We're from